Dan, through these first two games of the ALCS, the bullpen has really just stepped up. Just how impressed have you been by the performance of the relievers, and how ecstatic are you that you're going into these 3 home games with pretty much all of them on decent rest?
Yeah, this has been, down the stretch especially, has been a big strength of ours, has been the bullpen. And I think the bullpen and actually the starters work very well together, and the way it has worked out has gone, fairly smoothly. And you get, like we've said before, you trust all of our guys, and whenever you give them the ball, they're going to do the job, and yesterday was no exception. A couple of guys giving us a couple of innings was huge, and allowing the offense to kind of break it open a little bit. And so it was a good bullpen series so far, and looking for that to continue as we go forward.
Questions for Dan in the third row on your left.
Dan, in a series and a half now, you've seen basically all your pitchers build up that postseason experience. How have you seen that kind of, get more relaxed on the mound, or be able to understand the moment a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the experience of it's huge, and we've talked about that all along. Just getting your feet wet, getting a chance to get out there and get that first one under your belt, and it does take a minute. And I think the way we've seen our guys adjust to it has been great. This is a group that's tight. The whole pitching staff together is tight. They share information. They talk about it. They let each other know what it's like, and so they're a little bit more prepared too. So, it's good knowing that these guys have had a little bit of experience now under their belt, and they're ready to go.
We'll stay over there on your left.
Dan, from your standpoint here, to be back in Seattle ahead 2-0, I mean, what is the word or the feeling I think that, embodies the team right now when you think about being in this position to come back home and have potentially 3 in front of you here?
Yeah, obviously it's a very advantageous position. We're excited about that, but there's work to do here, and I think the focus is tomorrow night. That's where our focus goes, and that's kind of how we've done this, all along. Is just that we're taking it one day at a time. It sounds very cliche, but you take it one step at a time, and tomorrow night we're looking forward to getting back out there. Taking in the atmosphere here at T-Mobile. We know it's going to be an awesome atmosphere here for baseball. So that's where our focus lies. We get back to work. I think, as we've talked about the pitching, it's been so solid, and offensively able to do some great things. So both sides of the ball, we just need to continue to keep doing that, and I think that's the focus going forward.
Up front on your left, Dan.
Kind of similar. I was going to similar question, but I'll try to go a little deeper. Just the importance of the details. You've talked about that from day one. Just important of the details, each pitch, each at bat.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we've seen, we talk about the postseason where little things make big differences. We've seen that in a lot of these postseason games, not just our games, but in all the games. And so you focus on the details. You know that each pitch has, magnified significance. That each out makes a big difference. Each at bat can be huge. So I think we've talked about it with our offense that you start stacking those tough at bats back to back, and over time you start to wear down pitchers, and that's when we're at our best. So yes, each pitch, each at bat. Those are all very big things here in the postseason, and our guys know that, and that's why our focus continues to be, tomorrow night, and we'll get back out on the field and get started again.
Right up front, Dan.
Kind of continuing on that train of thought of just the subtle differences, ALDS, you guys came back home. It was win or go home. You knew the situation. This situation, a little bit different, have an opportunity to close it out. Just what is the kind of difference or variation in pressure compared to having that lead with an opportunity to close it out at home compared to, win or go home?
Again, I think we take the same mindset. We go out and we play good baseball tomorrow night. That's our focus, and I think that's where we're at as a team, and that's what our goal is to come out tomorrow and continue to do the things we've been doing, and that's the hope, and that's what our preparation will be, geared towards, and we'll do the things that we've been doing on the mound, preparation-wise. We'll be doing the things offensively that we've been doing preparation-wise, and we'll be ready to play at game time.
Second row on your left, Dan.
Dan Bryan's going to be up here in a little bit, and I'm just wondering A, if there's any updates with him, and B, just how vital he is to you guys going forward, even on a limited pitch count.
Yeah, I think all reports have been good as we had expected, and continues to make his progression. Obviously the live ABs the other day was a big step for him. He felt pretty good yesterday. I think he's going to get out and throw again a little bit today. Getting him back, one of the guys that has really led this staff this year, obviously will be huge for us. And whatever that looks like as we get into the later part of this series, but getting him back and getting him healthy is the key. And he's getting close.
And the third row on your left.
The Blue Jays are a team that don't strike out, but then your pitching staff dominates the zone, right? So this has set up this really interesting kind of chess match. The Blue Jays hitters have said they don't mind going down 0-1 because they'd rather, and not swing at a pitcher's pitch early in the count, because they'd rather be 0-1 than 0-for-1. So how important is executing that first pitch for your pitching staff? How pleased have you been with how that's gone?
Yeah, I think, that is what we talk about a lot as an organization, is winning that 0-0 pitch. And, the quality of that pitch is certainly important. But getting strike one is big. And we've talked about controlling the count and how different it is when you're ahead in the count. And I think, with the hope being that even if it's a team that doesn't strike out as much, you're hoping to get weaker contact. When you're ahead in the count, you're going to get weaker contact. So I think our guys have done an outstanding job of getting ahead and doing that. And that's what we will continue to prepare for and keep doing as we go along in the series.
Second row up front, Dan.
Dan, having that advantageous position, it feels like maybe your group of guys, more than most, understand that situation. If there's a good group over there, they're not going to take it lightly. They're going to keep grinding and all that. What is it about your guys that, they're still going to be locked and they're not going to let this 2-0 lead kind of get ahead of itself or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that's who these guys are. We talk a lot about Cal and the season he's had, not getting wrapped up in it and keeping his humility about him as he's gone through it, and has allowed him to continue and be consistent. I think that's a big part of it with a lot of our guys. We understand how fickle this game can be, and so each night is important, each detail is important, that's why I think we go about it very consistently. We prepare the same, and I think that they'll, again, like I said, they'll be ready tomorrow night to go.
And the third row on your left, Dan.
Dan, we saw how the matchups between the hitters and the relievers kind of evolved in the ALDS, which with every single outing and every single game. How much can hitters learn about relievers in a series length? And then with that being said, how big is it that you get through the first two games only throwing each reliever once?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I think it does make a big difference. I think obviously seeing guys more and more does help you get a better picture of what they're going to do. You can look at a guy on paper and understand on paper what he's going to do and what the ball might do, but then seeing it in the box is a different story. So I think as hitters, yes, that's great. And I think all hitters on all teams will share information. That's how you learn and you get prepared for your at-bat. So that's all been going on and as normal. But it is good to get in the box and actually see that, get in at bat, and get a feel for what the ball's actually doing. So yes, I think it's great that we've been able to only have a couple guys go out there on a couple outings, hopefully that helps us as we go forward.
A couple last ones will stay in the same row.
What makes Josh Naylor so good at that high and away pitch? It's a pitch that's a foot outside. You don't expect him to do damage on it. And then we saw it against Skubal with the double. We saw it in the series with the Blue Jays. What is it about his swing? How does he get to that?
He's just, number one, as I've said, he's smart and headsy, and he can, maybe think along sometimes with pitchers. But I also think, he's got the ability, his swing has adjustability to it. And when he sees a pitch up in the zone, he's able to stay really short and get on top of it. And that's the key. You're right, that the double off of Skubal was huge, to be able to go up there off of the velo that he was throwing and to be able to hit that to left field like that, that really requires you to get on top of the ball, and we've seen him do it over and over again, and that's just because his swing is so adjustable.
Anything else for Dan before we let him go? All right, Dan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Brian will be down in a few minutes.
You don't call me out to my face or not? What's that? You don't call me out to my face or not? What do you mean? I'm like, you asked, I was going to ask something similar, so I guess I'm going to try and go a little deeper with this question. that shit had me rolling.
You know we ain't cool. I don't know what you're speaking to me.
Come on, that was funny as hell. I know you didn't mean a single thing by it, and I heard like, oh, that's so fucking funny. You know, trying to shoot like this. Yeah. Oh, I've been there so many times. Yeah, you're like, how do I? But you kept the conversation going. And Tara understood the assignment. We were just rolling. You guys were all following the line of questioning. It was beautiful. Chit chat. I think that's a good question. I think I'll ask Brian how you feel play baseball. Now, I was thinking about this on my drive over. I was like, I'm going to ask him what his favorite restaurant in St. Louis Obispo is. That's going to be my question. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. Firestone? Yeah. I was going to ask him. Exactly. I was going to say.
Such a slow thing. That's
It
all
is.
the college
Everyone,
kids
they just get the tri-tip and get the hammer. Yeah. Beer's good.
Yeah. What's the Woodstock?
Yeah,
Is
what's
that
up?
slow?
Yeah, that's as far north as it goes.
Just for your planning purposes, Brian's running a little bit late, so Schneider will be at 2:45 and Brian will be at 3 now.